One of the Vraxes sneered and tossed down a heavy weapon from his side. "Here, human, let us see you try to use this. It will crush you." A human stepped forward, a young woman with no armor, only steady hands. She lifted the weapon with effort. At first it shook in her grip, but then slowly she adjusted her stance, studied the weight, tested the balance. She fired once, clumsy, twice, more steady. By the third attempt, her aim was true. The crowd quieted. Then a Zerathi drone was placed in front of them, its controls handed to a human youth. At first, the drone wobbled in the air, nearly crashing. The aliens laughed. But within minutes, the boy adapted. His movements became sharper, cleaner, until the drone flew with precision almost equal to the Admiral's. Whispers spread through the arena. Finally, the Thalran placed a puzzle of equations before a human. It was alien math, complex and strange. The man frowned, struggling at first. But instead of giving up, he broke the problem into smaller parts, finding patterns. Slowly, surely, he shaped the answer. His solution was not perfect, but it worked. The aliens shifted uncomfortably. The envoy turned, his voice calm but sharp. "Do you see? We are not the strongest. We are not the fastest. But whatever you give us, your tools, your weapons, your knowledge, we will learn. We will adapt. And soon we will do it better than you." Silence fell over the arena. The laughter was gone. For the first time, doubt spread among the empires, and then the envoy raised his hand again. That was only the beginning. Watch closely. We are not finished yet. The secret skill revealed. The arena was silent now. The laughter, the mocking, the arrogant cheers, all gone. Every alien leader leaned forward, their eyes fixed on the humans below. The envoy did not smile. He simply nodded to his people. "Now," he said, "show them." The humans began to move together. At first it seemed simple. They spoke quickly to one another, voices sharp but calm. They passed tools, shared ideas, tested methods. Mistakes were made, but each mistake was corrected faster than the last. Where one failed, another stepped in. Where one grew tired, another took their place. They worked not as individuals, but as a living chain, each link supporting the other. The aliens watched with growing unease. "Do you see it?" the envoy asked, his voice carrying across the arena. "Strength is useful. Knowledge is powerful. But they fade when faced with change. What makes humans different is this." He pointed to his people. "We adapt. We learn. And we do it together." The Vrax's champion frowned as he watched the humans wield his heavy weapon again. This time, the woman held it steady from the start, her aim sharper than before. The boy flying the Zerathi drone was no longer clumsy. His movements were smoother, almost instinctive. The man solving the Thalran puzzle worked faster, his answers flowing with growing confidence. But more than their individual improvements, the aliens saw something stranger. The humans were learning from each other. Each success was shared, each mistake corrected by another. Every human's progress became the progress of all. The Thalran scholar's golden eyes narrowed. "Impossible. They share skills faster than any race I've seen." Within the hour, the humans had turned the alien tools into their own. They modified the Vraxis weapon, improving its grip. They reprogrammed the Zerathi drone, making it fly in tighter formations. They found shortcuts in the Thalran puzzle that even the scholars had overlooked. The crowd whispered in disbelief. The envoy's voice rose once more. "This is humanity's secret skill. Not raw strength, not endless fleets, not superior knowledge. What makes us strong is that we change. We grow. We learn faster than anyone else, and we do it together." For a moment, the arena was silent. Then, slowly, the silence turned into a deep unease. Leaders who had laughed now exchanged nervous glances. They had always mocked humans as weak, but now they saw something more dangerous than brute force, potential without limit. The envoy looked up, his eyes calm but sharp as steel. "Today we are weaker than you. But tomorrow we will not be. And the day after that, we will be stronger still. That is why humanity cannot be stopped. The aliens shifted in their seats. Some sneered, unwilling to accept it. But others stared in quiet fear. They understood the truth. Humans did not need to be the strongest today, because they would always become stronger tomorrow. And then, before anyone could reply, a sudden alarm blared across the arena. Red lights flashed along the walls. Mira, one of the human aides, looked to the envoy in alarm. "Captain, ships are entering orbit, unknown origin." The council speaker rose in shock. "This is no part of the way. Trial, who dares?" But the words were cut short as the sky above the arena shimmered. Strange ships bristling with weapons descended through the clouds. They were not council ships. They were outsiders, raiders, mercenaries, or something worse. The envoy's jaw tightened. He turned to his crew. "So soon?" The others nodded grimly. The timing was no accident. The galaxy was about to see humanity's skill tested in fire. The galaxy reacts. The alarms rang louder, shaking the walls of the council arena. Alien leaders leapt from their seats, shouting in confusion. The massive windows above the chamber filled with shadows. Dozens of hostile ships cutting through the clouds, weapons glowing with deadly fire. The speaker of the council raised his staff in panic. "This is an attack! Defend the chamber!" The alien guards rushed into formation. The Vraxis roared, ready to charge. The Zirathi shouted orders to their drones. The Thalran scholars activated shields of light. But nothing worked as planned. The raiders were fast, chaotic, unpredictable. Their ships didn't fight with the neat formations the Zirathi loved. Their weapons tore through the shields the Thalran trusted. Even the brute strength of the Vraxis meant little against energy fire raining from the sky. The alien leaders panicked, each shouting different orders, their tactics clashing with each other. The mighty council, the great empires of the galaxy, fell into disorder within minutes, and in that chaos, the humans moved. The envoy stood calm in the center of the arena. His voice was steady, sharp. "Form up. Share what you know. Work together." The humans responded instantly. The young woman grabbed the Vraxis weapon she had trained with earlier and fired, her aim already better than the alien who had given it to her. The boy took control of a downed Zirathi drone, reprogramming it on the fly and sending it back into the fight. The man who solved the Thalran puzzle rerouted shield controls, adapting them to counter the raiders' weapons. The alien stared in shock. "How are they doing that?" A Zirathi admiral gasped. "They're using our weapons, better than us," cried a Thalran scholar. The envoy's voice carried through the smoke and fire. "This is what you refuse to see. We don't just fight with strength. We fight with everything we've learned." The humans moved like water, flowing around obstacles, turning failures into victories. Each mistake became a lesson. Each lesson became a weapon. In minutes, the chaos began to turn. The Vraxis, who had roared without thought, now found themselves following human signals. The Zirathi drones, once scattered, regrouped under human coordination. Even the Thalran shields grew stronger with human adjustments. The council watched, stunned, as humans took their chaos and reshaped it into order. One of the alien leaders whispered, his voice filled with dread. "If they can learn this fast in the middle of battle, then there is no limit to what they can become." Another leader gritted his teeth. "This is why they are dangerous. Today they borrow our weapons. Tomorrow they will build better ones, and the day after, who will be able to stop them?" The envoy stood tall, his uniform torn by the blast, smoke rising around him. His eyes burned as he shouted above the battle, "You call us weak, you call us small. But this is what humans excel at. We rise, we learn, we turn every defeat into strength. That is why no enemy, no empire, no galaxy will ever keep us down." The last of the raider ships exploded in fire, crashing into the mountains beyond the arena. Smoke drifted through the chamber. Slowly, the sound of battle faded into silence. The alien leaders sat frozen, their pride shattered. They had mocked humanity only hours ago. Now, with their fleets useless and their armies scattered, they had been saved by the very race they had ridiculed. The council speaker lowered his staff, his silver skin pale with shock. His voice trembled. Perhaps we have underestimated the humans. But the envoy only stood silent, his people gathering behind him. He knew this was not the end. It was only the beginning. And in the silence, across the galaxy, whispers spread. For the first time, alien empires asked the same fearful question: if this is what humans can do today, what will they become tomorrow? The challenge issued. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council was filled with light, banners, and voices from 100 different worlds. Leaders of powerful empires sat on their high seats, their pride shining brighter than the stars. They had gathered not for peace, not for trade, but for something far more ancient: competition. Every century, the Council held a challenge to decide which species could claim the title of the galaxy's strongest. It was a contest of honor, where each race displayed the skill or strength that set them above the rest. The air buzzed with confidence. The Vraxis, tall and armored like living tanks, boasted of their unmatched strength. The Zirathi, masters of war fleets, laughed proudly about their endless armadas. The Thalran, known for their intellect, claimed their sciences were beyond compare. Each empire shouted, each voice demanded respect. And then, sitting quietly at the edge of the circle, were the humans. Their envoy wore no shining armor, no crown, no weapons. He sat calmly in a simple dark uniform, his eyes steady, his hands folded. He had spoken little, and for that many mocked him. "What will the humans show us?" sneered a Vraxis warlord. His voice boomed through the chamber. "Do they have strength greater than ours? I doubt it." The crowd laughed. "Perhaps they will show us their weapons," said a Zirathi admiral with a grin. "If one can call their little cannons weapons at all." More laughter echoed. The humans had been new to the stars, and though they had fought, they had never shown dominance in raw power. To the ancient empires they were still children, curious, reckless, unworthy of pride. But the human envoy did not rise to anger. He sat still, waiting. His silence made the council restless. Finally, the Thalran scholar leaned forward, his golden eyes cold. "Human," he said, "you sit there like a shadow, while the galaxy speaks of greatness. Tell us, what do your kind have that deserves our notice? If you cannot answer, then leave this hall in shame." The words echoed like a blade through the chamber. All eyes turned to the human envoy. The laughter had faded now, replaced by anticipation. Would he argue? Would he beg for respect? Slowly the envoy stood. His movements were calm, measured, and his voice was not loud, yet it carried across the hall with sharp clarity. "Every species here has something they excel at," he said. "Strength, ships, knowledge. And you are right. Humans cannot match you in those things. Not today." The crowd roared with amusement. "He admits it," someone shouted. But the envoy did not waver. His eyes swept across the leaders, meeting them one by one. "You have asked what makes us worthy. You have asked why we are here. I will give you the answer, but not in words." The council stirred. Murmurs spread through the hall. "What do you mean?" the Thalran demanded. The envoy's lips curved into the faintest smile. "I mean a challenge, not of power, not of numbers, but of skill. Allow us to show you what humans do best. Watch us and you will see the one thing no other species in this galaxy can match." A silence fell over the hall. The aliens exchanged uneasy glances. A challenge was no small thing. If the humans failed, they would be humiliated before the entire galaxy. The Vraxis warlord slammed his armored fist against the stone table, his grin wide. "Very well, human, if you dare, then prove it. Show us this so-called secret skill." The chamber erupted in voices, some laughing, some curious, some already dismissing humanity as fools. But the agreement was made. The next day, in the arena, the humans would be given their chance. The envoy bowed slightly, then sat once more. His calm expression did not change, but his eyes burned with quiet fire. The other humans seated behind him whispered among themselves, nervous but resolute. They knew the risk. The whole galaxy was waiting to see them fail. But the envoy whispered only one line to his people. Let them laugh today. Tomorrow, they will never forget what they see. And so, the challenge was issued. The human reply, the Yuan. Day after the challenge, the arena of the council was filled. Thousands of alien delegates crowded the stands, their voices echoing across the colossal chamber. Some came to watch out of curiosity, others for mockery. Most were sure the humans would embarrass themselves. The arena floor gleamed under bright lights. It had hosted countless demonstrations of alien power over the centuries, battles of strength, trials of endurance, and displays of technology that shook the stars. At the center stood the human envoy. His uniform was plain, his figure unarmed, yet his presence carried a calm weight. From the stands, jeers rained down. "Show us your sticks and stones, human," Azirathi shouted, his armored mandibles clattering in laughter. "Or perhaps they will sing songs," sneered a Thalran, his golden robes shining. "A fine trick for children." The humans in the lower seats remained still. They had been told to expect this. Mockery was the price of being underestimated. At last, the council speaker, an aged being with silver skin, raised his staff. The crowd fell quiet. His voice was deep, echoing through the arena. "Human envoy, yesterday you accepted the challenge. You stand before the galaxy, which doubts you. What will you show us?" The envoy's voice was steady, neither proud nor defensive. "Not weapons," he said. "Not ships, not strength of muscle or size of fleet. We know we cannot match you in those things." The aliens erupted in laughter again, convinced the human was admitting defeat. But the envoy raised his hand, and the sound of his voice cut through their noise. "What we will show you is something different, something no other species can match, something that has carried us through every trial, every storm, every war, the one thing that makes humanity unstoppable." The arena hushed. The laughter softened into murmurs. For the first time, the words had touched something deeper. Curiosity. The envoy turned to the wide gates at the far end of the arena. With a signal, the gates creaked open. A group of human men and women stepped forward. They were not warriors in armor. They were ordinary-looking, diverse in height, build, and age. Some carried simple tools, others nothing at all. The aliens frowned. Where were the great weapons, the shining machines? The envoy looked up to the council seats, his voice ringing clear. "You wish to see what humans excel at. Watch closely. Do not blink. What we show you today will not be measured in strength or size, but in how we change, how we learn, how we become more than what we were yesterday." The alien leaders shifted in their seats, uncertain. Some scoffed, but others leaned forward, sensing something unusual. The envoy's eyes burned with quiet fire. "You may think us weak. You may call us fragile. But today we will show you the secret that no empire has ever defeated. The secret that will outlast every weapon, every fleet, every throne you cling to." His hand fell, signaling the beginning of the demonstration. The humans on the arena floor began to move. Not with brute force, not with dazzling technology, but with a skill that no alien had ever understood. The first hints of it began to take shape, and the council leaned forward, silence spreading like a shadow across the arena. They had expected weakness. What they were about to see would shake the galaxy. The arena of skills. The arena floor glowed as bright lights rose above the human group. Thousands of alien eyes fixed on them, eager to watch another failure. The council speaker raised his staff. "As tradition demands, each species may show its skill in turn. The galaxy will judge." First came the Vraxis. Towering like living tanks, their champion walked to the center. His body was covered in jagged armor plates, his fists heavy as stone. With a roar, he struck the ground. The arena floor cracked under his strength. The crowd thundered in approval. "Unmatched power!" the Vraxis warlord shouted. "No bone, no metal can resist us." The humans did not move. They only watched. Next came the Zirathi admiral, who summoned a fleet of drones. They filled the air in perfect formation, flying in sharp lines like blades of light. They struck targets with flawless accuracy, each blast cutting through the sky like fire. The audience gasped at the display of control. "See our precision," the admiral cried. "We command fleets like extensions of our own will." Again, the humans did not move. Then came the Thalran scholars. With a wave of their hands, their machines projected streams of data and equations into the air. The symbols danced like fireflies, painting entire models of galaxies. Their intelligence was unmatched, their knowledge endless. "Knowledge is power," one of them said, "and no one knows more than us." The arena roared. The aliens cheered for strength, for fleets, for intellect. And then, silence. It was the humans' turn. The envoy stepped forward, his plain uniform stark against the shining robes and armors of the others. Behind him stood his people, waiting. He did not roar like the Vraxis. He did not command machines like the Zirathi. He did not summon glowing symbols like the Thalran. Instead, he said softly, "Bring us your tools. Bring us your weapons. Bring us your challenges." The council murmured in confusion. What kind of skill was this? The test of fire. The smoke from the destroyed raider ship still drifted above the arena, but peace did not last long. From orbit, more hostile ships appeared. Bigger, stronger, better armed. These were not simple raiders anymore. They were warships, sent by a power that wanted to crush the council itself. The alien leaders, still shaken from the first attack, shouted in panic. "We must retreat," cried the Thalran scholars. "No, we must launch our fleets at once," yelled the Zirathi admirals. The Vraxis warlords roared, demanding to charge blindly into the fight. Chaos returned. Every alien race fell back into their old habits, each one acting alone. Their pride, their fear, their distrust of each other broke any hope of unity. The humans saw it clearly. The envoy turned to his crew, his voice steady. "This is it. This is the fire that will test us. Not words, not speeches, but action. Show them what humanity is." The humans nodded. No hesitation, no prideful arguments. They moved together. "Take their weapons," the envoy ordered. "Learn their tactics. Improve them." At once, the humans acted. The woman lifted a Vraxis cannon. Too heavy for her at first, but she had already trained with it. Now her shots burned through enemy shields with perfect aim. The boy hacked into Zirathi drones again, but this time he didn't just control them. He reprogrammed them mid-battle, turning them into hunters that adapted to enemy maneuvers. The man with the Thalran puzzles rewired their shield projectors, creating mobile barriers that shifted with the fight instead of standing still. The council chamber shook as the warships fired down on them. But where the alien leaders only panicked, the humans changed with every blast. Their tactics grew sharper, their teamwork stronger. The envoy's voice rose above the thunder of war. "This is humanity's power. We fail, we rise, we learn, and we do it faster than anyone else in the galaxy." The alien leaders watched in stunned silence as the battle unfolded. The Vraxis warlord, his pride wounded, stared at the human, woman wielding his people's weapon better than any soldier he had trained. The Zirathi admiral clenched his fists as the boy's reprogrammed drones outperformed his fleets. The Thalran scholar whispered in disbelief as the humans used his knowledge to protect not just themselves, but the entire council. And then, the final test came. A colossal warship descended from orbit, its cannons aimed directly at the council hall. One shot and everything, the arena, the leaders, the humans, would be destroyed. The aliens froze. They had no plan, no unity, but the humans moved. "Combine the weapons," the envoy shouted. "Now." The humans directed the reprogrammed drones to circle the Vraxis cannons. They fused their firepower into a single stream, guided by Thalran shield projectors, to focus its strength. It was a move no alien empire had ever tried, because none trusted each other enough to combine their strengths. But the humans did. Together, they unleashed a strike of fire and light, It cut through the warship's shield, piercing its core. With a deafening explosion, the massive vessel tore apart, scattering across the sky. Silence fell. The battle was over. The galaxy had just witnessed something it had never seen before. Humans taking the weapons of others, learning them in hours, and using them better than their creators. The envoy stood tall, smoke and fire burning around. His voice calm but sharp as a blade. This is the truth of humanity. We are not the strongest today. But give us time, give us fire, and we will rise. We will surpass every empire, every fleet, every throne. That is what makes us unstoppable. The council stared, their pride shattered, their fear growing. For the first time in centuries, they had seen a new power rise before their eyes. And across the galaxy, whispers spread like wildfire. The humans are not to be mocked. The humans are to be feared. But as the last sparks of battle faded, the envoy's eyes turned cold. He knew this was not the end. This was only the beginning. Humanity's place. The smoke cleared slowly above the grand arena. The wreckage of the enemy warship drifted in the skies, burning as it fell into the planet's atmosphere. The ground trembled with aftershocks, but inside the chamber, silence ruled. Every alien leader sat frozen. The mighty Vraxis warlords, the proud Zirathi admirals, the brilliant Thalran scholars, all of them stared at the humans standing tall on the arena floor. Their weapons were still hot, their uniforms burned and torn, yet their eyes were steady. The envoy stepped forward, his voice calm but heavy with power. You asked us what humans excel at. You mocked us, called us weak, called us small. But today, you have seen the truth. His words carried through the chamber, echoed by the shattered silence of the once proud council. We do not claim the strongest muscles. We do not claim the largest fleets. We do not claim endless knowledge. What we claim is this: we learn, we adapt, we rise, and no empire, no enemy can stop us once we begin. The Vraxis warlord lowered his head, shame burning in his eyes. He had seen his own weapon fired with more precision in human hands. The Zirathi admiral clenched his jaw, knowing his fleets had been outperformed by a human boy. The Thalran scholars, golden eyes dimmed as he realized that his most complex puzzles had been solved by minds he once called primitive. The humans had proven it in front of the galaxy. The envoy turned slowly, facing every leader. You fear us now. Good. You should. Not because of what we are today, but because of what we will be tomorrow. We are humanity. We grow beyond limits. That is our strength. That is our place. The chamber erupted in whispers, the sound of fear spreading like fire. They adapt too fast. They could surpass us all, if they grow stronger each day. What happens in 100 years? 1,000? The speaker of the council raised his staff, his voice trembling. Humans, you have shaken the galaxy today, perhaps more than you know. We mocked you, and yet you saved us all. You have shown us a strength no empire can copy. For this, the U.S. Council declares, but before he could finish, the envoy cut him off with a single sharp sentence. No declaration will matter. You have already seen. Humanity's place is not given by the Council. It is taken by us. The chamber fell silent again. Not a word dared to challenge him. Outside, the skies cleared, and the wreckage of enemy ships burned like falling stars. The galaxy had witnessed something new, something terrifying, something unforgettable. The envoy turned back to his people. Their faces were tired, their bodies bruised, but in their eyes burned the same fire. They had proven what no words could explain. They had shown the galaxy the one skill that made them unstoppable: adaptability, growth, unity. As the humans left the arena, the whispers spread far and wide. Across star systems, across fleets, across thrones and empires, one truth rang louder than all others: humanity has found its place, and the galaxy will never be the same again.